All right, last stop, Shane. We haven't been able to talk about the Commodores yet, so let's kick it on down to Nashville, where, again, I mean, this is pretty interesting stuff where Ken Seals, we've all seen what he can do. Very quality quarterback there for the Commodores. And then here, I thought that was the biggest deal with the spring game. Again, you never read too much into a spring game, but the backup, Mike Wright, I mean, he looked like a revelation for Vanderbilt. So when training camp opened and they announced, quarterback reps are going to be split equally until further notice, that caught my attention. And now here we are a week into camp, and it certainly sounds like that's still the case. And not only that, but, much was made about the Commodores not having jersey numbers this spring and everything like that. The first two players to earn their jerseys were Ken Seals and Mike Wright. And I think that gives you just an indication.
Come on now. Come on.
How close this thing is. And potentially, when your quarterbacks are team leaders like that, I think it just builds up the entire team around them. You know what?
Yeah. Well, at least it ain't your damn punter getting his number first.
We're in a time where guys can transfer whenever they feel like it. And, you got two quarterbacks competing. What did it mean for you that you didn't have to recruit those guys back when you get here after they've been through the change and all that stuff? What could it mean?
Well, I think they believe in Vanderbilt, and I think this goes beyond me. I mean, this is about a commitment to a university and a belief in a place. And it's the same reason I came back, right? This is an amazing program that hasn't achieved to the level that it's capable of, but they believe in it, I believe in it, and so obviously that's the thing that keeps them here, and so it means a ton to me. And both those guys, including Moose too, they've all three, they haven't flinched. They've since we've gotten here, they've all three developed. They've grown physically, they've grown mentally, and they're learning how to quarterback the team, which. I think sometimes with the quarterbacks, they train on their own, they have their own coaches. And then what becomes important at this level is that one position strengthens the other 10 on the field. And so there's a dynamic there of leadership that has to be a part of their process. And, I'm proud of the guys for how they've worked.
Is that why those two were among the first to get their numbers when you did the Ken and Mike?
Yeah, well, they earned that because of, yes, their work, their investment in the program, and that's work in the weight room, again, on the field, in the classroom, in the community. That is building into the program in optional times. I mean, they've been in the front of all that.
What do you think of the quarterbacks in terms of how they've maybe progressed or developed in camp, and especially with taking care of the ball?
We've been careless at times at the finish of play. I think one of the things in practice that's a challenge is you can get in bad habits with what you do with the ball late in the snap because we're not facing a live rush. You can force it a little.
You mentioned the second scrimmage. Do you want to have a starting quarterback after that? Are you comfortable taking that competition into game week? Where is your general preference in terms of when to decide that?
I don't know that it necessarily is beneficial to have a date to where we have to name a quarterback. To me, it's a matter of letting the competition play out. Also, I think, there's two skill sets there that are challenging to prepare for. And so for me, it's a matter of being honest with the team, being authentic to what's happened through our competition. Obviously, you can develop chemistry when you have a named starter and you kind of know who's going to be out there together. But, I'm very comfortable taking that into game week because ultimately what you just want to see is the competition through.
Yeah. All right, sorry about that, Clark Lea again next to the damn mower there. I don't know why all these teams, I guess because they're out on the practice field, but we need Coach O out there yelling to shut that damn thing up, while the interviews are going. But again, I love all these comments we get anytime we do get to hear from Clark Lea because I don't know, man. I think in recent years, we could certainly question, all due respect to Derek Mason, but it certainly seems like there's a new man in charge there in Vanderbilt, and while we may have not known much about Clark Lea coming into this thing, the job does not seem too big for him, and right. I don't know if that was necessarily the case with Derek Mason. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and the kids respect him. I always think of them as a poor man Arkansas. The same mentality, that blue chip atmosphere, and that's what he's creating there. Just get the hard work in, and it starts with your quarterback. So I'm extremely excited about what Vanderbilt puts on the field, because a lot of people didn't realize how pretty good they were last year, and I think they were mismanaged, and I don't think we're going to see that coming into this year.
Yeah, and last thing on Vanderbilt, real quick, but just hearing from Clark Lea and talking about the buy-in and the potential there, which is something we always talk about Vanderbilt. I don't think enough is made about. We all give Ed Orgeron and Sam Pittman all the credit in the world for being good coaches, but at the same time, they are just perfect fits for those schools.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that with Shane Beamer, I think, as well at South Carolina. And I think maybe it gets lost a little bit that Clark Lea fits that mold as well at Vanderbilt. Certainly a very well-educated guy, went to Vanderbilt, and he played damn fullback. He walked on as a fullback. I mean, you got to be tough as hell to walk on in the SEC regardless. You got to be even tougher to do it at fullback.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why he brought his dang helmet to SEC Media Days. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I love this hire, and I cannot wait to see the transformations that happen on the field for the Commodores this year.
Absolutely, man. Just think about when what's his name was down there, the guy we don't speak of at Penn State. those when they came together, they became a force to be reckoned with. Nobody wanted to play Vanderbilt. I mean, think about that. It didn't take long to make that program good again.
Yeah, absolutely.